Welcome to an incredibly overdue wrap-up, feelings and favourites for this chunk of the tour and my favourite places in that city video for Brisbane. Why is it well overdue? Well, that's because we finished in August and it is now October. We had the longest production period here in Melbourne and I just had nothing. I had no brain cells for this. So here we are now. Let's get into it. Like I just said, currently I'm in Melbourne. I'm very happy to be in Melbourne. I love Melbourne. Like Sydney will always feel like home to me, but Melbourne is very close second. I love this city. I love the way I feel in this city. I love working in this city. So very happy to be here. Happy to be sat down for a hot second as well. We are here for, I think in total, like 6 months. It has already been one of those months. So we are well and truly on the way into finishing this tour. This is our final leg of the tour. There are so many things that I want to make videos about regarding touring. The main one being a updated video about packing, because the video that I made at the start of the year about like what I'm taking on tour and what I'm packing with me, do I have some updates? Do I absolutely have some updates for you? I'll talk a little bit more about Melbourne and my plans for Melbourne and for the channel in Melbourne at the end of the video. For now, let's talk about Brisbane. Coming into Brisbane, I was nervous. At the end of Adelaide, I was in a pretty volatile life stage period of the tour. Things were a time. Things were very much a time and the break was not relaxing at all. So coming into Brisbane, I was really nervous because all of that was there. And then coupled with that, I did not think I was going to like Brisbane. I hadn't spent a lot of time in Brisbane yet, but I had spent a month in Brisbane last year and I hated it. I didn't like the weather. I didn't like the city. I found my experiences there with people and places a bit odd and just not really my vibe. So I really expected that I wouldn't enjoy this chunk of the tour. And I was completely wrong. I did not expect Brisbane to become one of my favourite cities on the tour and one of my favourite cities in general, but it did. And there are a lot of reasons for that. The first most obvious one, which I think is the most unexpected for me, is the weather. It was sunny and nice. Not like crazy hot because it was still technically winter. My ideal summer is Brisbane winter, personally. The sun was shining like almost every day. It makes it really hard to be depressed when the sun is shining. So I really appreciated the Brisbane weather. Also, the place that I was living was beautiful. I think a lot of the reason that I didn't enjoy Brisbane the last time that I was there was because I was staying in a suburb that I didn't really like, whereas this time I was staying in Newstead with one of my childhood best friends. I think that contributed massively as well to me having a good time because I felt like I was coming home. It was grounding to be living with somebody who has been part of my life for over a decade. That was really nice, even though we worked completely opposite schedules and never had time off at the same time really, so we didn't really get to hang out that much. Coming home to one of my best friends and one of my closest people in my life for the last decade plus was really grounding and made me so happy. Her apartment's sick. My room was really cool. I had a lot of space to myself. While I was there as well, I was able to go and visit one of my other best friends who lives on the Gold Coast, who I never get to see. The friend that I was living with, there was like 3 of us, a little trio of us when we were in high school together, and that friend was able to come and visit, and we went wedding dress shopping because she's getting married, which was so fucking nice to do like a core memory life thing with 2 of my closest friends while away. That was really, really special. And as well as that, my mum was able to come and visit while I was there too. So I felt so very connected to my life and my friends and my family, even though I was away on tour. And I think that contributed massively and was exactly what I needed considering the point of life that I was in. With work friends, I ended up going and doing a lot of really fun things around Brisbane. Like we went to the zoo and all of these, I'll get into it. That definitely helped as well, making the most of actually being in the city. Also, while I was there, I was really taking very specific effort to be more self-care proactive. I was working out more. I tried a bunch of different kinds of working out as well for somebody who has not been a fitness girly in my life. My skin's been playing up while we've been touring. Every time we change cities, my skin freaks the fuck out. So I went and got facials and stuff, which was also really great. It just made me feel better about my skin and it also just made me feel relaxed. I got a couple of tattoos while I was there and I was doing therapy every single week with an incredible therapist who was new to me, and that made a world of difference. It was just a city of like taking care of myself and having the best time with the best people and making very incredible memories that I'm going to keep with me for a very long time. Also, QPAC as a theatre, whoa, QPAC is the best theatre in Australia. I will say that with my full chest. In terms of like space, facilities, the green room is incredible. The space backstage is huge. Everybody has enough room. Everyone has what they need. The actual on-deck backstage space is also huge. It was one of the easiest bump ins and bump outs we've done because of the way the QPAC is designed and the thought that's gone into the facility itself. The theatre was fucking massive. People loved the show. There was a great reception from people about the show, which is always really nice. The theatre itself had like the most incredible green room I've ever seen anywhere ever, with people making actual food every single day. There was always options for us if we wanted to go there. There was heaps of food options around the theatre, as well as like a supermarket as well, which is also great. Lots of bars and places to eat after work. Safe to say I was a huge fan. I loved Brisbane. I now cannot wait to go back. So those are my feelings, really. My feelings were that Brisbane was incredible. It's exactly what I needed. I had the best time. I loved it so much. And I did not expect to at all, considering how I previously felt about Brisbane and where I was at in my life when I got there. Brisbane was very healing for me. My favourite places and activities while we were there are as follows. As I said, I was living in Newstead, which is a beautiful area. It was far enough away from the theatre that I felt like I was getting away from work, but it was also super easy to get to work as well, which is always a plus. The area itself had everything that I needed. It was really nice. There was lots of greenery. Brisbane has a lot of greenery in general, which is really nice to be around. Like I said, I was doing a lot more physical activity while I was there. Using ClassPass, as always, I was doing classic like Pilates. I tried cycling classes, which was terrifying. Not because of the actual cycling, but because of the experience of the cycling instructor and the sensory experience of the sound and lighting. All in all, I felt like I was joining a little bit of a cult. The positivity, the speeches, you were meant to be here while we're just pedaling on these little cycles. It was crazy. It was so much fun. As well as that, my favorite thing that I tried was aerials at Cirque in Hamilton. We got to try like different types of aerial. Is that how you say it? That's how we're gonna say it. Lyra, silks. It was so much fun, and I really want to find somewhere in Melbourne that I can keep doing it. So if you know anywhere that does classes around aerials, please let me know, because I've been struggling to find one. I went to Browskiii in Newstead to get facials, which was amazing and a really, really nice facility. There was a hair salon that I went to a couple of times near my place, and I was getting my lash extensions done by Jasmine at Lovesick in Brisbane, which is a tattoo studio. That in itself was so sick. To get my lashes done in a tattoo studio was so fun. It's an environment that I'm more comfortable in than like a classic lash studio. So that was really nice. I also ended up getting tattooed there as well by an artist, and I also got a piercer there to redo all of the jewelry in my face. So safe to say that I really enjoyed the studio. Speaking of tattoos though, I did also get tattooed by one of my other childhood best friends, or like teenage, early adulthood best friends, Billy. I did a little video about getting tattooed on tour for that tattoo. We did a little Tina tattoo. It's a little What's Love cassette on my leg. I love it so much. It was so nice to see him. It was so nice to get tattooed by somebody who is an important person in my life as well. It was weirdly emotional. I cannot recommend enough that you go and get tattooed by Billy. He has a private studio in Newstead as well, weirdly close to where I was living, which was very convenient for me. On weekends off, we made the effort to go to a couple of places like an hour outside of Brisbane. We went to Australia Zoo, which was so much fun. I had been to Australia Zoo before as a kid. We also took a weekend to go to the Gold Coast. We went to Movie World and to Draculas and just hung out on the Gold Coast for a couple of days, which was so nice. Movie World itself, a little bit underwhelming. Draculas was also sick. I'd been there before a couple of times, actually. And we all went and had dinner. The food was amazing. The show was amazing. It's nice to just go and do some like little touristy things sometimes in the places that you go and visit. In terms of eating, bars, nights out. In the Valley, which I went to quite a bit because I was living next to the Valley, Netherworld was an incredible like arcade bar that also had really delicious food. I have never seen people like line up to use pinball machines. As well as that, they had like karaoke rooms attached, which we didn't end up getting to use, but they looked sick. The rooms themselves had like a crazy theme to every room, which was really cool. I love a place that does a good theme. There was a really good Mexican place that we went and had dinner, and a Japanese place that was near my place in Newstead that we went to that was also really cool. There was a couple of bars that we went to in the Valley. My favorite was Seville Row. They had a great playlist, which is very important. Other places we went to in the Valley were a little bit more terrifying, and I probably wouldn't go back there. One that's like on that side of the city, but not exactly like a bar, is we did go to Eat Street, which I think is in Hamilton, which is like this giant lot that has been turned into this giant food vendor space. So overwhelming, but so good. Go on an empty stomach or go a couple of times. I think they only do it on weekends because we were only able to go once when we had a Sunday night off during the production period. If you are there on a show that has like the Sunday night off, Tuesday night show schedule, that'd be a great time for you. But if you are there when you have shows, like a 5-show weekend, try and find time to go anyway. Try and find time to go, whether it's in the production period or at the end. In the city itself, I went to Massimo in the city, which is like on the water, as well as Felons. We went to Felons a couple of times. Felons was great. Death and Taxes in the city is one of my favorite bars in all of Brisbane. It is really cute. We went there for my birthday, which was really nice. We also went to Brooklyn Standard in the city, which does Mariachi Mondays, which was so much fun. We went and did that a couple of times. Perfect for us as well in theatre schedule because it's on a Monday night. Like I said, around QPAC, there is a lot of places to eat and drink. We went to Bar Brutus pretty much every time we went out for a drink after work. In Fish Lane, which is where Bar Brutus is, there is also a million other places to eat and drink. Just around the corner is the Pig and Whistle, which is a pub that also has really good food. I am always looking for Japanese food around the place that I work, and there was 3 that I went to the most. There was Harajuku Gyoza, Ramen Danbo, and Taro's Ramen that I went to a lot. But probably my favorite place to go and drink and eat after work was Bar Barbosa. They have food until so late and the food was so good. It's nice to go out and like have a drink after work, but it's also nice to eat something. It also means that the people who want to go out and who want to keep socializing but who don't necessarily want to drink have an option that is actually fulfilling for them, which is a good time. Those are my favorite places and things and activities that I did and went to in Brisbane. Here I am in Melbourne. Here I am on the final chunk of the tour. Over the last 10 months that we've been touring actively, like stopping and changing cities like every 8 weeks, I have found it really hard to keep up with videos and to keep inspired to be making more videos. As you know, the last show that I was on and the show before that, I was making a lot of videos about the shows, and that was really exciting and really fun. Like I've said in the past, I can only make videos about shows if I'm given permission, and on this show I was not given permission, which was a huge spanner in the plans that I had. I had like 2 years worth of content and videos planned around theatre and tech specifically in theatre that immediately went down the drain, and I had to think about what I could do. I had ideas for technical kinds of videos that I could do while I was still doing my full-time job or my more than full-time job. My work hours every week span somewhere between 50 and 90 hours depending on where we are and what we're at. So safe to say it's been difficult to find time to like go and film or go and do other jobs that I could film to make videos about while working this job and living the lifestyle that has been the chaos of touring. The touring lifestyle kinds of videos that I've been making are really fun and I want to continue to do those, and I always wanted to do those, but I wanted it to be in the mix of doing more technical stuff. So that has been really frustrating for me. That has made me feel a little bit deflated about making videos. Now that I'm in Melbourne and we sit down for 6 months, like I said, well, 5 from now, I have more time. I have more time where I can be making more videos. I have plans of videos that I want to make, and also this is the final chunk of this tour on this show. This show is wrapping up after this city, and then I will be moving on to different work. And from there, I will be able to make more tech-specific videos about the work that I'm doing. And I'm so insanely excited about that because I never wanted to start making videos to make like a lifestyle channel. That's not what I wanted to do. I thought it would be interesting to have elements of that, and it would be fun to have elements of that just because that would mean that I get to document all of my memories in this period of my life and show people what it is like to be touring and to be actually working in this lifestyle. But it's not what I wanted the channel to be. So that's been really deflating. I am so excited for the change that is about to come, which will mean that I have something that I can make videos about without it causing me detrimental stress. Being in a space that hopefully means that I can make more videos for you within the next 5 months. There are already things in the works. Next week, I'm going to do a workshop with a university theatre company, and I'll be taking you along while I go do that. I'm working on some stuff with a local Melbourne company about products specifically for us, for people in our industry. Obviously, there will be tattooed on tour videos. I'll be doing some more like week on tour things just because that is the way that I can show you work the most. But like I said, I have other plans for stuff that's like wrapping up touring, thoughts and feelings, tips, ideas that I wish I could have given myself 12 months ago when I was about to take off on this chunk of tour. For example, the packing stuff. Because oh my god, was I so wrong. But I think that's it. I love Melbourne. I've been to Melbourne a lot. If you have any recommendations of things that you personally really love to do in Melbourne, please let me know. That's how I felt about Brisbane. Brisbane was great, and I can't wait to go back. If you've made it to the end of this so far, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around for the videos for this year. I promise you there is more tech-specific content actually coming. And if there's any kinds of videos that you would actually like to see, especially videos around the process, which I already have a bunch of ideas, but if there's anything that you want a video about or for me to talk about in a video to do with beginning a new show or beginning a new job, let me know and I'll plot for that because I might be able to. Okay, bye.
Oh, that's delicious. Yeah.